7:22. Dinner right this morning. Gotta get up, get after it, help my kiddos, stay focused on their schoolwork. Other than that, there's not a lot to do today. At least not until this evening when the scout meeting is. So, at which point I have to go and hang out in a very small pavilion. Like, really small. And discuss the details for the menu for the camping trip. Awesome. I'm thinking cinnamon toast and maybe coffee. Maybe even shake sounds good, so I don't know. Just time to get after it. Back in the lower 130s. I knew I'd get there. I'm super glad about it. 12:09, and I haven't showed you guys my outfit yet. So, it's this shirt. Again, man, I wear a lot of the same clothes over and over and over. And some gray yoga pants, and I've got my hair tied back. Really sloppily. Time to go fix some lunch. Meatball sub on a plate again with a cup of coffee, which was actually Snickernut coffee, or Snickernut cookie coffee from H-E-B. Good stuff. It's 1:11. Apparently I can't stop my phone from shaking. And I know Thanksgiving is coming up fast. And one thing that I am not willing to skip this year is pie. You cannot take that from me. Absolutely not. I will have my pumpkin pie one way or the other. So I've been looking at options for pie crust. And I think I hit on a recipe that will work. Hopefully it's good. I'm going to probably test this out early next week. And instead of like almond flour, coconut flour, whatever, it has pecans as the main source of, you know what, I don't have a word for that right now. Fake flour, I guess. You add in, you put all these ingredients, pecans, egg whites, sugar replacement, that sort of thing, some salt, of course, into a food processor. And it kind of comes out like a dough. I hope they're right about that. I hope that's not wishful thinking there. I really hope this works. Apparently, it's supposed to come out as a dough, and you put it in your pan, and it's supposed to puff while it pre-cooks. So, I think this is going to be the easiest to do with a pecan pie. Also, you know, there's it may work for a pumpkin, considering the cinnamon and pecans and sweetness is all really good together, so should work. I'm hopeful. Let's see what happens with that. But I have a recipe. It's going to take some testing, though. It's just after 3 o'clock, and I'm trying to help my youngest with some of his schoolwork on the Revolutionary War, because due to current circumstances, he's a remote learner, which means that he needs some teacher-style help. He didn't like my suggestion for the first sentence of this summer. He's supposed to write about its social studies or going over the creation of the Declaration of Independence. And I said, 5 men met, Tommy Jeff's room to commit sweet, delicious treason. He said I wasn't taking it seriously. Like, of course this is serious.
You have been photobombed.
Mm-hmm. Quick dinner before having to go out to do the Cub Scout thing. This is basically turkey a la king on solo bread. I tear my toast up. Don't judge. Some bell pepper, some cucumber, some stuff that's really bad for me. Whatever. You all must see me. It is 5:54, and we had a scout meeting and a run to the pharmacy, and it has become apparent to me that my teepee that does not have a rain fly is in no shape for camping when it rains. So this is going to be a little difficult. I'm headed out to pick up a decent looking multi-use sunshade / shelter / rainfly. It's a big square lightweight tarp with cables and poles. And I'll be able to cover my tent enough with the help of some very tall boys, which will be in abundance, along with several dads, all of whom can easily beat my 5'3". So I think we'll be all right there. And I've decided that since it's also somewhat marked down right now, that for my own personal gear, I want a coffee percolator. Because why on earth would I camp when it's not too hot to drink coffee without having coffee available? So that's going to happen. As long as I have got the thing recording, sitting here in the dark, story time, right? So when I was a kid, I was in Girl Scouts. So I know what I'm doing with the whole Scout mom thing. My dad was in Boy Scouts, so is his brother. So my kids are actually third generation. Now, I did not go away to summer camp like most kids because I had too many health problems. One thing I always looked forward to every summer was Girl Scout day camp, where we would go out to this county park. We'd actually get bussed out from town, and we do typical camp stuff, but just during the day, and then we go home again in the afternoon. And on the last day, we would come back out. Usually we get dropped off for this, and we would camp that night, and it was just the oldest groups. So this is like the very oldest brownies and the juniors. So we would have a lot of fun with that. We actually set the tents up during the day, so the younger girls would also get a chance to figure out how to set up these tents. And then we would come back in the evening and we camp. And every year, without fail, something would go wrong and everyone would get scared. We had this one particular storm, though, that was so bad. The fire department came out to get us out of the park and take us back into town. A whole bunch of the girls were rounded up into vans, and the minivans, mom's cars, and one of the vehicles they sent out instead of the school bus we usually used was an ambulance. Nobody was hurt, but they sent out vehicles to get us back into town, into the biggest building they had available, which was the courthouse. And it was like 11 a.m. and people were coming to pick up their kids. But we went out the next morning to pack up our stuff that had been left, and one of the tents was just gone. And we later found out that the storm had actually blown it into the next county. So, and that would have been at least 20 miles away. Like I said, obviously nobody was hurt. I think we had one person break a toe on a tent stake one time, and that was it. But it was good. It was good stuff. It was a lot of fun, and we were just so geared up for things to go wrong that girls would be screaming because the tent was flapping wrong. I don't think my hearing is ever recovered. It's actually 1:04 in the morning, and I actually gotten started on my video tonight at a reasonable time, but it took me a lot of time to add all those little bits into the little story time thing. So, that took a lot longer than I expected. I had to, stop, find the right thing, and then add to it. So, I don't know how most YouTubers do that, but I think I'm not gonna have that much time to do that regularly. That was fun though, Maybe I'll save that sort of thing for times when I don't have a lot going on, like when my kids are off for a weekend or something. Okay, I did get my percolator. I did get my Rainfly. I got a couple other things that I want from my own gear that I'm not really going to need because the troop and the pack have a stellar amount of gear. I'm not going to take apart my percolator and describe for you guys how it works right now. I'm just really happy to have gotten it. That is a lot of gear for casual camping, so I think I'd like to make more use of it, especially next summer, maybe next spring before it gets too hot, and really get more into it quickly while my kids are still young enough to want to do this, but also now that they're old enough to set up the tent without me. That's been my day. Thanks for sharing it with me.